Let's turn to the second one, the communist alternative, when the government takes over running and owning enterprises and plans the output. Well, there what we have is interesting results. First, these sorts of economies have been stunningly successful in achieving one of their central goals, which is economic growth. I mean, this comes as a shock to Americans, but it has to be repeated so we are not living in a fantasy world. The two most spectacular stories of economic growth, of a society going from poverty to wealth in record time, is the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics and the People's Republic of China. Wow. Communist China, Communist Russia are examples in which having one central authority, the government, mobilize and focus on economic growth, of ending centuries of policy of poverty, have been extraordinarily successful. Those are their achievements. They can get economic achievement on a scale that other societies, both capitalist and the other kind of socialism, the regulatory kind, have not been able to achieve. That has to be faced. That is a virtue of those systems. But they too have their problems. Let's look at them. They generally tend to be less unequal than the other kind of socialism usually can be, so they have that in their favor. But in those societies, you have arrogated, you have taken an extraordinary amount of economic power and put it in the hands of a government. And the question has been, and that has been answered now, that putting that amount of power into the hands of the government runs the risk that such a government will use its economic power to also dominate politically and culturally. And remember, if the government takes over the enterprise, it means that instead of the private individuals running the business of the country, it'll be government officials who do it. And that is still a small part of your society. It means a minority. In one case, it's private capitalists. In the other case, it's government officials, is calling all the shots. And that is politically dangerous. And we've learned that lesson.